Here's an interesting article from naturalnews.com. Food police on patrol. Seattle to start inspecting residents' trash and fining them for food waste. Food waste? I saw that title. I tried to think, what could they possibly mean? There's no way they're going to actually inspect their trash for like food. Like they have time to go by. I mean, isn't when you're in a garbage truck, next house, pick it up, dump it, next house, pick it up, dump it, you know, time is money, get up and get down fast. How the hell are they going to have time to inspect trash for certain amounts of food? I'm thinking to myself, where's this going? Of course, I had to read it. And then it made sense. Governments need money. And when they've squeezed all the blood out of the turnip, which isn't even supposed to happen in the first place, they have to find sneaky, tricky little ways to get some more. This is, once again, I mean, you could say every video I do, pretty much, 90-something% of them, has to do with symptoms. The reason I do the videos, and the videos topics, are all symptoms of a dying, failing empire. Not necessarily symptoms. This is actually the after effect, or the during the collapse effect. These are things that happen during the collapse of an empire. The overreaching hands of big government extend out from all sides like octopuses surrounding us in a cesspool of murky water. Flailing our arms, we swim to get out of their controlling gaze, but their tentacles reach out to block our path. It's 8-2. For every hand we try to move freely, there are 4 more tentacles to hold it back. This is the scenario that America is creating today, using government legislation to control one another's movements, behaviors, and lifestyles. These overreaching octopuses crawl under our bedroom sheets. They tell us what we can put in our body. They squirm in our brains, restricting our free speech, what we say, what we even type. Now, this nanny state of control is crawling into our trash cans, sorting out what we throw away. Does legislating against each person's trash make the world a better place? Are government-enforced trash inspectors, including food waste fines, a positive strategy to encourage people to change their behavior? Will these fines really make everyone compost more and waste less? What are the unintended consequences of using force to mold and shape behavior in society? It brings a person, I'll tell you, it brings a person that much more closer to snapping and losing it. And as Gerald Celente has said, when a person has nothing else left to lose, they lose it. Seattle government turning garbage collectors into trash inspectors with the power to fine. In Seattle, Washington, a new ordinance beginning next July will target residents and businesses for throwing away too much food. The local government there is turning garbage collectors into trash inspectors. Accolades for government force. If the garbage collector deems that 10% of the trash is compostable food waste, I'm sorry, a judge? No. A garbage collector, the garbage man is now the judge, deems that 10% of the trash is compostable food waste, then the resident or business is to be fined and the money returned to the state. Not returned, but given to the state. I don't know why it says returned. While recycling trash and composting is an extraordinary idea, using force and fines never accomplishes the goal. It backfires into a nanny state of division, accusations, and of course, extortion. Sadly, the city council approved the measure with a 9-0 vote. Fines begin next July and start at $1 for residents and $50 for apartment buildings and businesses. According to the Seattle Times, the city fell short of its recycling goal. They recycled 56% of trash in 2013, 4% short of citywide goals. Apparently, the council members think that finding their way forward will close the gap. And I've got news. I've seen not this, but other things where city councils think they can just write laws when laws have to come from the state. So they call them ordinances. And most ordinances can be beat because it is not law. And the more encroaching, more disturbing the crap that they try to pass off as an ordinance, usually the easier it is to get it shut down quickly. Perfect example, state of Florida. You go to a park, no alcohol, no knives, no guns, no weapons. Posted. Or county ordinance, such and such. Okay. That was going on for a long time. Finally, the state of Florida, I don't know how many complaints or whatever happened, people realized if I have a right to carry a concealed weapon, for example, which old Jason Ford does have his permit, if you don't have one and you're able to get one in your state, go ahead and do that. Anyways, people go to the park. Once again, gun-free zone. Bad guy comes in, does what he wants. You can't violate the law. You get county ordinance such and such, man. You get locked up. Even if you successfully stopped a robber at gunpoint, you at gunpoint against him, you're going down. County ordinance, you violated it, can't have the gun here. And maybe that's what happened a few times. I don't know. I haven't really checked into it for the state of Florida, but I know that the state said, okay, we've had enough. We have concealed carry permits. We have laws written. People are allowed to carry weapons. Of course, get your concealed permit if they have it, and it's very easy to get. In this, I'm going to stop for a second and talk about that because it is absolutely ridiculous how you are a felon. You will get taken in felony charges against you if you don't have a concealed carry permit and you're concealed carrying and you get caught. It is the difference between being a felon and perfectly legal, law-abiding citizen. And when you take the course to get your permit, it is the most ridiculous thing I think I may have ever been through in my life, expecting some kind of real training. I sat down in a small gun shop, little back room. It was me and one other lady and her husband, and I think he was there just for her. So it was me and her. And he just goes over kind of a couple examples of when you could use deadly force against someone, when you couldn't, things like that. And he's still telling you what I'm telling you isn't like written as law. I'm just giving you some examples that you should be okay to take someone's life. Again, your life has to be in jeopardy or someone else's, etc. Very basic stuff. Okay, now I need you to put this gun together, chamber one round, and then shoot it in this little can. So he has this little .22 revolver with the, the cylinder out. And he's got super, super duper low powered ammunition. Literally, I think he said if you like shot someone, it might hurt a little bit, but it wouldn't even break the skin or something. Forgot what he said. All right, so he's, all right, your turn. There's literally a little dish. A little number 10 can. All right, go ahead and put it inside that can and fire. Okay, ready? Put the cylinder back in, cock it. Boop, sound like a little, not even a firecracker. Pop. Okay, next. Ma'am, you do the same thing. Okay, doop, pop. Okay, you guys you've passed your test. Go ahead and fill this out and send it off to the state of Florida with your $117 blah, blah, blah fee. And you're good to go. That was it? Oh, yeah, that's all. I thought these things take like 2 weekends. A Saturday and a Sunday, like when you go to the gun shows and stuff. Yeah, maybe some of those guys just drag it along. I don't know. I think he told us to expect to spend at least 2-3 hours or something there. We weren't even there 2 hours. I mean, it was, again, I may venture and say I don't even know if it was an hour. It was very quick. So it's not like we're raising our hands. Question, there's only two of us. And then I turned it in, got my concealed carry permit. It lasts 5 years. 5 years was just up recently, and I renewed it, so I'm good for another 5 years. Or maybe it's 7. But anyways, I couldn't believe I'm now a legal firearm carrier, concealed carrier. Can't get in any trouble if I got stopped and had it on me. No problem whatsoever. But if I didn't take this stupid test, not even a government-sponsored it was just a firearm store, gun store. And I'm thinking of what I did, shooting the stupid thing through the can, or in the can, and now they're satisfied that I can use a firearm, so I'm good to go. If I didn't do that, I'm a felon. Talk about ridiculous. Back to the park story. The state of Florida said, essentially sent out letters to all the counties and cities. You must take those signs down. You can no longer enforce this no weapon, gun, whatever policy. If a person has a concealed carry permit, they're allowed in your park with that gun, concealed carrying it. It's part of Florida, right? Okay, so have a nice day. And a lot of the counties and cities said, nah, we're going to leave it. So the state of Florida said, well, we're going to fine the crap out of you for each, I don't know if it was a month or whatever it was, each something or another, that sign remains up and you try to enforce it. You will get fined. So they start taking them down. That's what happens when you have real, true, lawful, law-abiding, law-loving, constitutional-loving people with the power up, the state of Florida, doing what's right. Simple, to the point, done. Just like that. So here we have a city council with absolutely no power whatsoever. 9-0 vote. We're going to show those people. They recycled 56%. They missed it by 4%. Man, if we had 60%, we wouldn't have to do this. So I'm here to tell you that's the cover story. The real truth of the matter is they need more tax revenue. We'll call it the not reaching the recycle quota. Can you imagine garbage men now digging through your trash with the sole authority to determine whether 10% of whatever trash is in there is food? If it's 10% or more, you're going to get nailed. But wait a minute, I've got a really big box taking up most of the space in the trash can. I couldn't fit a lot of trash food because there's a lot of boxes and material in there. Is the trash inspector going to consider that big box, 70%? Because it is taking up 70% of the space, but it's one item. And there's 14 food items, even though they're tiny. How there's like officer discretion. This is trash collector and discretion. Gotta love it. Legislating behavior and lifestyle always backfires, dividing and perpetuating accusations. If everyone had the power to fine others for behavior that they don't like, then life would become a giant witch hunt police state with people pointing fingers and extorting money from others whom they don't agree with or understand. Oh, you're a liberal? I'm fining you. Oh, you're a Democrat? I'm fining you. Republican? I'm fining you. It's a good point. How stupid. In this way, society becomes divided into cliques that only fight against one another, opposing each other's lifestyles and decisions. By creating a nanny state government, society devolves into a state of perpetual accusation. Sadly, this is what American government has morphed into today at both the local and federal levels. It has become a pit of glaring octopuses, empowering politicians with 8 tentacles that are used to control the free will of human hands. That's right, liberty is the answer. Instead of empowering a bureaucracy built on fine money and accusations, it's better to empower the individual with information. Why couldn't we encourage educational classes about composting and inspire learning about landfill waste? This would be a better long-term strategy than picking through each other's trash and finding those who throw too much food away. Educating a free people has a more lasting impact. Learning from mistakes, a free people can then move away from what didn't work, opening up to what does work for the progress of mankind. Force can't achieve these goals rightfully. So, once again, it doesn't matter if state, local, county, federal. Government is government is government. Thank God the state of Florida woke up that level of government and stood by the Constitution essentially. Not to mention, why do you freaking need a permit, concealed weapons permit, when the Constitution says you can have and bear arms? Bear show. Nudist sign, strip bar. We bear all. We bear all. What does that mean? We show all. You can see it. Weapon, gun, have the right to have and bear arms. Didn't say have the right to have and conceal arms. So the states decided, we'll kind of reinterpret that our way. Although there are some states that have open carry. Now, I will say, see if I can do a quick search. Florida, open carry bill. Because there is an open carry bill going through the state of Florida. February 1st, maybe the latest, Senator Miguel Diaz de la Portilla is blocking Florida's campus carry bill for Mayor Bloomberg. I don't know if that's the one I wanted, though. Arizona. The Florida open carry bill has moved out of committee in the Florida House. It will likely be voted on by the House in the next few weeks. Tallahassee, CBS Miami. A bill that will allow Florida gun owners to openly carry their weapons is headed to a full vote. The bill cleared a committee vote 12-4 on Thursday. The next step will be a full vote by the Florida House in the next few weeks. The difficulty lies in the Senate, where Senator Portilla is chair of the Judiciary Committee holding the bill. Mr. Portilla said he would consider the failure of the House amendment and may decide to block whoever that Gates bill. Portilla says that he is concerned about the effect of open carry on the tourist trade. That should enrage you. That should absolutely piss you off and make you want to punch this bastard in his freaking face. He's concerned about the effect of open carry on the tourist trade. Excuse me, dumbass. You legislate laws for the state of Florida, the citizens of the United States of America and citizens of the state of Florida, the ones who live here. Your concern is foreigners. Unbelievable. Diaz de la Portilla said he was concerned the proposed law would create a bad impression on tourists who would see Floridians walking around with handguns. We don't give a shit. This isn't about tourists for us. This is about protection, freedom, rights, Constitution. That's more important. That supersedes your bullshit tourism. This is the best chance in years to pass licensed open carry in Florida. Florida is one of only 5 states where the open carry of handguns is generally banned. The ban is the creation of, you guessed it, Janet Reno. Remember her? The former Clinton Attorney General of the Waco Massacre fame. In 1987, when Florida passed its highly successful shall issue concealed carry license law, open carry was legal except for a few urban areas. With the concealed carry reform, the legislature passed state preemption to make gun laws uniform throughout the state. Janet Reno created the government-led coalition to lobby for an open carry ban. She was able to have the ban passed in a special session without going through the usual committee or public vetting processes. Imagine that. It has been in place ever since, though there have been several attempts at reforms. So, anyways, I was curious myself, where are we at with this thing? Hopefully this bozo wakes up and does one of my favorite things to brag on, does the right thing. Because his right thing is tourism. We don't want to scare the tourists away. But that's not the right thing. The real right thing is, what does the Constitution say? What do the citizens that voted for you say? What are they saying now? What are they screaming? We want this law undone, the previous one, and we want it to open carry. Even if we have to get licensed, so be it. There's a freaking license for everything. Add one more to the damn pile. Take care.